What's going on, guys? Dustin here with another Star Trek, the official Starships collection from Eagle Moss, and I know it's a long overdue. This is the Klingon Raptor. Everything here. It's a Raptor class launched in the 22nd century with a length of 145 meters and 4 decks. Only 4 decks? Wow. And it is a scout ship, crew of 12, and weapons includes disruptors and photon torpedoes. And there goes my laptop. Now, it's small, but don't let their weapons fool you. I'm possibly going to run through this quick. Operated by a crew of 12, the Raptor-class vessels mounted raids along the borders of the Klingon Empire. They patrol the edges of the Klingon space on alien outposts, and they were designed to enter a planet's atmosphere and land on the surface, where the crew could carry off technology, supplies, and information. One of the first-class Klingon ships encountered by the Enterprise in Exile 1. Vulcan database identifies it as a scout ship, but wasn't until crew members from the Enterprise found themselves trapped inside the IKS Samra. A lot of overview pictures here. Basically the Klingon Raptor inside the atmosphere. This was actually when it was damaged in a battle with the Xarantine ship. Captain decided to take refuge in the atmosphere of a gas giant where they can make repairs, but the crew succumbed to the effects of a neurotoxin from the Xanartine, leaving them in danger. They are tough ships, but the Samra is still being crushed by the enormous pressure of the atmosphere. Kind of like if a spaceship going to Jupiter and then all of a sudden that spaceship was getting crushed by the enormous pressure on the atmosphere. 150 meters long, under. Raptor was a relatively small ship that has some basic layouts as a larger battle cruiser. A little interesting data feed here. Captain Archer's attempts to help the Samra were not entirely successful. Archer did rescue the ship, and the Klingon captain was far from happy that he had been saved by an alien, or that anyone learned of his foolishness, allowing his crew to be knocked out by Xarantine ale. Klingon's first response was to attack their rescuers, but they chose to retreat rather than enter a battle with the Enterprise that they were bound to lose. I'm probably gonna head sit in the seat. I can't. There we go. Much better. Just for this overview here. 3 minutes in already. The Enterprise landing party boarded the Samra. They were actually the first ever humans to step aboard a Klingon ship. The Vulcans saw much more experience than the Klingons had. A database with 900 pages of information. Wow. That's a lot. Here's your reactor pit right here. Your warp cells. The main bridge is up here. And also your disruptor cannon. Well, turret, sorry. Side view. This thing just does not like to focus. And these Klingon ships were capable of achieving regional warp 5, actually make interstellar travel a practical reality. Now, they, like their color coding system, identify areas of the Raptor. Their galley was in blue sector on deck 4. Sleeping Dogs. Enterprise creators Rick Berman and Brandon Braga were always determined that things would be different in the 22nd century, setting the series 100 years before Kirk's famous voyage. Given a chance to reinvent familiar elements that had included the Klingons. In their case, they want to take the opportunity to strip away from the sense of understanding and identity and establish on the Next Generation turn the fearsome enemies. Now, Sleeping Dogs, the story that introduced the Klingon Raptor, was the third story to feature the Klingons. Enterprise detects a ship that has been drawn by the gravitational pull of a gas giant slowly being crushed. DePaul, Hoshi, and Reed take a shuttle pod across to investigate and discover that the Klingon crew has been mysteriously incapacitated. This teleplay was written by Fred Decker, and the original idea had come from Terry Matalas, Braga's assistant at the time, and currently the executive producer of Sci-Fi's 12 Monkeys. I'm sure that show is still around. Terry and his then writing partner were intrigued with the cursed incident. A Russian nuclear submarine was doing naval drills in 2000. Two onboard explosions sunk into the bottom of the Barents Sea, and several warheads detonated accidentally. Most of the crew was killed. With Klingon contact, along with the Vulcans, the Klingons were the only familiar aliens that feature regularly in the Enterprise. In Pilot Archer's first mission involved returning Kling, Klingon who had crashed on Earth, to the Klingon homeworld. When the beginning, the series emphasized how little the two cultures understood one and another. This story was created to create attention by attracting the landing party on board a dying ship, and they were surrounded by unconscious Klingons, combining the mystery of what had happened to Klingons with the fear of them coming around. In the way that the pressure of the planet's atmosphere was crushing the Klingon Raptor was directly inspired by what happened to that same Russian submarine. Alright. Trying to focus in and out. The episode emphasized the landing party's revulsion of the conditions on the Klingon ship and ending by showing them enjoying the opportunity to decontaminate. Now, design this huge bad boy right here. Klingon Raptor was the first new Klingon ship to appear on screen. Enterprise was deliberately conceived as a more primitive version of the original series battle cruiser. It basically has the same concept. Johnny's working on the Raptor. Thought it was going to be like a much smaller ship, kind of like, that small dinosaur, the Raptor itself. If you've seen Jurassic Park, like basically the new Jurassic World movie, you know what I'm talking about. As the script progressed, the ship got larger and finally ended with a crew of up to 12. So what they actually did was took the inspiration from the D-7 battlecruiser and Bird of Prey, developing an early iteration of the ship that was immediately identified as a Klingon. And your final results. This is the original 3D version of what the Raptor established, what the ship would look like before it was handed over to Foundation Imaging. Short thing. On screen, it only appeared in Sleeping Dogs, and that was about it. Not sure what was the hell on my camera. Saw like flash or something. It only appeared in Sleeping Dogs. I already told you about it. It's basically the crew of the Enterprise are taking scientific readings of a Class 9 gas giant, where the probe sent back data showing there's a ship in the planet's atmosphere, trapped. There are faint life signs aboard, so Archer must send a party to investigate the mysterious alien vessel. Policy volunteers join the team, convinced that it's time for her to confront her nervousness about deep space exploration. The other two members of the party are T'Pol and Reed. Captain of the Raptor is played by Vaughn Armstrong, better known as viewers as Archer's boss, Admiral Forrest. He was called in the last minute when the actor who was originally scheduled to take the role was unavailable. Armstrong was no stranger to Klingons. He played chorus in Star Trek Next Generation episode Heart of Glory and Karath in Endgame, the series finale of Star Trek Voyager. Sleeping Dogs is the only episode that the Klingon Raptor appeared in, though graphically showing it appeared in Daniel's database. The episode marked the first time humans ever encountered photon torpedoes. Sleeping Dogs wasn't actually the first time that we had seen a Targ. That distinction belongs to Star Trek 3, but it was the first time it was created in CG. The episode also established Klingon carries live Targs on board as source food rather than just pets. What these guys are. Come on, focus, focus. Coming up in the next issue is 42 is the USS Pasteur, NCC 58925. The in-depth profile of this medical ship in Q's alternative future. How Greg Jane built the Pasteur based on one of Matt Jeffrey's rejected designs from the original Starship Enterprise. Here's the back. Now, let's take a look at the ship. I'm not sure if I had it upside down or what. Basically, it's like real confusing to tell which is up, which is down, upside down, all that stuff. Basically, you have the Klingon logo here. If it would focus. If not, oh well. Basically, be up. The back end. Enjoy the struts they have on here. Basically, it keeps the ship together. Whoops. There we go. Wish I had a better camera. Basically, this ship looks awesome. Both warp cells are good. The struts, you gotta be very careful because struts will break off. Basically, this is my 5th Klingon ship, and I actually pretty like it. Still has that kind of a light, darkish green kind of color. So yeah, not like some of the pure green ones I have. So yeah. Anyway, if you like this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe for more Star Trek Starships reviews. I'm still making all these videos up because I've been way lazy and not be able to do it. Also, work got me nipped in, so that's the reason why I hadn't been doing it. So yeah, my name is Dustin. I will see you later.